Hello, and we are live. Welcome to PassionSpeak, where we give those with a passion a platform to speak. Our goal is to enlighten and inspire with the stories of people who are following their passion. My name is Sandra Jennings, and thank you for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and comment on this live, or if you're catching the replay. We appreciate you. Tonight, I am speaking with Madelene Yahya, author of A Taste of Privilege. Madelene lives in Grand Rapids, Michigan. She is a mother and a grandmother. Her compassion makes her a great listener, and her love of her family provides insight into the colorful family history she shares in her book. Madelene's creativity, compassion, and sense of humor shine through in these pages. Madelene is totally committed to being a child of God and takes great pleasure in learning and in living life to the fullest. Welcome, Madelene.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so happy to have you here. Let me just say, I saw when you did your book opening. When was that?
That was in September, September the 24th at Schuler's Books.
Okay. I remember seeing that at Schuler Books, which is a local bookstore, I believe a family-owned bookstore right there in Grand Rapids, Michigan. And I remember seeing that and thinking how proud I was of you. And you've done it. I was like, she did. It was nice. So congratulations on the release of your book. Here we are, 6-7 months behind the release of your first book, I'll say, because there's more to come. And so let's just get right into it. A Taste of Privilege. So this is your first book, and tell us what inspired you to write the book and to follow your passion, or let me rephrase, what gave you this passion of writing the book?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me. And I'll take you back 3 years ago when my mom passed away, and it was March of 2020. We also, had the pandemic, and the pandemic, was a scary time for a lot of us. And so it was very scary to me. So looking at, what was going on around the world, and, God had brought everybody to their knees, no matter what your nationality was, what color your skin was. He made all knees bow down and, give held everybody accountable for, what was going on around them. A lot of people lost their lives, with the pandemic. So it took away a lot of my hobbies and things that I like to do. And I was just there kind of stuck in the house, watching the news, and there was no place to go. They wanted people to be quarantined and whatnot. So that's what we did. And I had to have something to do. So I took up writing. And so I would take out a pen and paper and start writing. And I started writing on Tuesdays, and then I wrote on Saturdays. And it just turned into one thing after another. And I started writing, and it turned into a book.
Okay. I saw an interview that you did with your cousin and my friend Keisha Newton, and you guys were talking about the book and going over a lot of family memories. We're not going to go over those family memories because we don't have them, but I want to take a slightly different direction. So you were well, first, let me show the cover of the book. I think it's really telling, and I really appreciate it. This is on the Schuler Bookstore website where anyone can go if they want to buy the book. So
Yes.
it says A Taste of Privilege by Madelene Yahya. Um, I'm just really intrigued and fascinated by this picture. You
Hmm.
have got to give the story on this picture.
Well, my book entails of my uncle working at a gas station as a young child or a young man, and um, I came across this picture on a vacation when I went south, and it was fascinating to me, this picture, so I took it, and so it kind of fit my storyline, so I used it.
So, what made you come up with a storyline or taste or a title, Taste of Privilege?
Well, the taste of privilege is because of my family and the inequities that they face, in the South, with poverty and racism and sickness and grief. And um, they triumph from that, all the inequities that they faced in the South, and they made their way to Michigan. And that's kind of what the storyline is about.
So, how far back is the book dated? I mean, your earliest story that you tell in the book is dated when?
1906.
1906. Yeah,
Yes.
I got public school math. Yeah, that's over 100 years ago. That's
Yes.
that was a long time ago, even though that's only two or three generations.
Yes.
So I know you have some absolute favorite stories in the book. Listening to you and Keisha talk. Um, so let me just say, oral history has been probably a very reputable way for us to get our history passed down from family to family and generation to generation, right?
Correct.
But we don't always value our generation today. We don't value oral history. Like we don't sit with grandma and grandpa and just talk to them and seriously let them tell stories. In order for you to hear a story from grandma and grandpa, you have to spend hours. So you got your stories and a bulk of your research. How now?
I got my research from just about practically everybody in the family. Um, Everyone had a story to tell, and I did the research on, the time that it happened, and I kind of had it coincide with the book, and it added up and lined up to the adventure leading up to moving to Grand Rapids. Um, I guess one of my memorable stories in the book is the part where my great grandfather passed away, and his daughter, which was my grandmother, Minnie, went and had her husband go retrieve his body because he was at the wrong funeral home. He was at an all white funeral home and they didn't deal with black people. But little did they know that he was a black man, and they did not know that. So he went there to retrieve his father in law's body, and they told him that there were no black men there. They didn't deal with black people. So um, it was then he had to go to a local banker, which, he helped the family. He was a fair guy. His name was Mr. Montgomery, and he was a fair guy. And he entailed went to the funeral home of this all white funeral home and retrieved the body, and had his body taken to the proper place where it needed to be. So that's
Wow.
just one of the stories.
And I'm sure there's lots of families who have very similar because somebody in our family is passing for or doesn't entirely look appear to be black, and
Yes.
they're, as we say, they're passing.
Yes.
Everybody got somebody in the family who is passing. And
Correct.
yeah, so that was your, say again, your grandfather,
Great grandfather.
great grandfather. Did you ever
Correct.
meet him?
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
But I heard so many stories about him, and they were all, just very funny, some of them, and some of them were, um, very intense. And, you know, it just showed, blatant racism in the South and how people were treated.
So was that your most shocking um, story or shocking fact about the family as you were doing your
Um,
research?
no, there was other things, but I don't want to tell everything
Yeah, you
about
can't tell everything because we gotta get the book.
it. Were correct.
We got.
Um,
Oh, hold on,
well,
Reverend
there's
Hudson.
other.
Wait, hold on, Madeline. Reverend Hudson, Reverend Charlie Hudson. He hates when I call him Reverend. Hello, Sandra and Madeline. Seeing the both of you. Great seeing you too, Charlie Hudson, Reverend Hudson. We
Hi,
love
Reverend
you and
Hudson.
try to say we know you at your convention.
Yes.
I know
Thank you
you
for
remember him
watching.
from Ottawa. By the way, everyone. Yes, thank you for
Yes.
watching. Um, we all went to the same high school. Reverend Hudson's a little older than us, but we all went to the same high school. And your brother, I think, is his age, right?
Michael, yes. Or Maurice.
Oh, okay. I don't know. Are they older than
I don't
us?
know, but they all were together some kind of way.
Yeah, I didn't know them well, just in passing. Um, but
Correct.
okay, so back to the story. We were talking about some of your shocking stories or some that was like eyebrows raised for you. Or you weren't
Hmm.
going to, we're not going to tell them all, but we are going to tell, I want to recount a couple of the stories that you already did when you spoke with Keisha. There
Hmm.
was a story of, which is very common in African American families. You had a relative who had multiple families.
Yeah, that was my Uncle Molly's Uncle Selby,
Okay.
and he was kind of following after his father, who I spoke about earlier. He passed away from a tragic accident. He was ran over by a car. Um, but at the time, Uncle Molly, he um, had one child, and he decided to date another woman.
Okay.
So his dad, in return, was trying to tell him, "Son, you don't want to do this." And he in return explained to his dad, "Who are you to tell me? You did the same thing." So that's just one of the other stories.
This is one of
But
the stories. So,
mhm.
who would you say? Hold on, we got a commenter. Donald Hogue, this was a great read. What is next to come? We're going to talk about that, Donald. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you. We're going to talk about real quick what's next to come. But I want to first ask Madeline a question. Who in your family is responsible for your family's migration north?
Well, a couple of people. Um, my Uncle Bob was the person that went back to get his dad and his brothers and sisters to help them to get a better life to come to Grand Rapids. Um, my uncle Bob, he left first, and then he um, made a family here before we ever had even gotten here. And I'm saying we, I wasn't even born, but my mom and her siblings. So um, Uncle Molly and his wife, Stella. Stella was one of the top cooks at the Pantland Hotel. The Pantland Hotel was one of the top 10 hotels in the United States, and she was head cook there. And they sought after her to come to Grand Rapids to cook at their establishment. And so, in doing that, they also um, she came and Uncle Molly, they came and Uncle Bob and um, the men they worked at Gibson Mine and Stella worked at the hotel. And so
Okay.
um, they in return went back to the South to tell them of their good fortune and how things you can own things up here and you don't have to, you know, be subjected just to renting or being a sharecropper. Um, and so in doing that, that's how we came to migrate to Grand Rapids
Okay.
because of my uncles
Oh,
role.
goals. Okay. We got another question. It looks like Adrian Mosley. There's always one in the family with multiple families. Girl, your book sounds interesting. Good luck. Thank you. Thank you, Miss Mosley. Yeah, there's always one in the family. That has multiple families one way or another, whether you got a girlfriend on the north side and a wife on the south side with a bunch of families. But just like in a lot of traditions, if you have the wherewithal to be able to afford multiple families and the multiple families are okay with it, then you can have them, right?
I reckon,
Yeah,
but
they were
yeah,
okay with him. He was paying the bills.
there you go.
He paying the bills, so they didn't have a problem with it. So to answer Donald's question, and we are talking just quick station break. This is Passion Speak, and we are talking with Madelene Yahya. She has written A Taste of Privilege, which got released in September, and you can find it on Schuler Books. The link is there at the bottom scrolling. Madeline, you're working on your second book right now. Is that right?
Correct. Correct. I'm doing the finishing touches on it. The book is already written, and it's about a young lady that went to an all-black college,
Is
and
it based? Is it a fiction or is it based on some family?
it's based on a true story.
Based on a true story. And you're not gonna
Yes.
say whose true story it is,
Well, it's
because
my
that's not
great great
important.
grandmother.
Your great
It's my
great
great great
grandmother.
grandmother. Yes.
All right. So yeah, we got some sagas going here, some family sagas. So um, that should be interesting. I'm broadcasting um, from Panama City, where I just moved here 3 weeks ago. So I'm really happy that we have a nice, solid connection and there's no
Yes.
feedback. Donald has a follow up question. Did you face any backlash in writing about your family history?
Um. Well, a little bit because some felt like it wasn't written that way or it wasn't said that way or but other than that, not too much.
Was that backlash from other family?
It's just, people it's like, the game that we used to play when we were younger and you tell the story and you tell it and it got twisted this way and it got twisted that way. So,
Oh,
I
okay.
did the best that I could to twist it the way I seen it. So, um, um,
And
I think
and
that
the bottom line is that you did it. Nobody else in the
correct,
family did it, and none of the extended friends did it. They didn't write the story, and you
correct.
saw the need to put it out there. Thank you, Donald, for your question. You saw the need to put it out there. So if anybody wants to criticize, they can jump in and write a few lines.
Oh, anybody can. Yeah, they can write their own book if they would like to write one, and some said that they're going to. So maybe I helped inspire, someone to write. So hopefully, you know, we'll be seeing another book from the family.
I seem to interview a lot of people who are writing books, whether they be fact or fiction. And I don't know what that is about, but it's interesting, very interesting. Um, so I'm glad to see you writing your books, but I do want to say to the people who are contemplating writing a book, please know that Madeline told me, yeah, I don't want to hear nothing. What I found out about Madeline yesterday, I don't want to hear nothing from nobody. Get out there and write your book. I found out Madeline writes the old-fashioned way, like put pencil or pen to a piece of paper and write it off. And I was like, who types that up? She was like, oh, we get it typed up. That handles, the company thing. You went on and told me the big story, the real story about, how books get published. And I was like, that is really, really inspiring. Thank you for following your passion. I appreciate you doing that. And it's a testament to other people. Like you can, if God gave you a book to write, then and you don't feel like you could type it out, then put out some paper like Madeline did.
Yes, put it on paper.
Yes. So what else you want to tell us about the book? You can tell us another story.
Well, when I write, I like to put famous people in the book, and my grandfather was on his way to Memphis, and it speaks about him meeting his father because that is in the other book. He didn't get
About
to
his
meet
what? Say again. I need
his biological father. He was
Okay.
adopted in this book. He was adopted, so he never got a chance to meet his father. So there was a story where he was on his way to Memphis to finally meet the man who he thought was his father, but it never happened. But on the way to Memphis, he was on the train and he took the train to Memphis. And um, on the train, because my grandfather and Muddy Waters has the same first name and they lived in the same area. So I put Muddy Waters on the train with my grandfather, and I thought it was so comical, because it was just, what if it happened for real?
Right.
So it was interesting, and that's some of the funny parts.
That's
And
also I like to read for entertainment. I like to read historical fiction, and
mhm,
it's where it might have happened. It could very well have happened. Some people say it did happen.
yes,
Yeah, that could happen. Muddy Waters and your grandpa on the train together.
yeah, they were singing, and they were singing, "Mary, Don't You Weep."
Ooh,
So
okay.
that was powerful.
It is powerful because that's one of my favorite gospel songs.
Yes.
Your cousin, I think this is your cousin. Oh yeah, Carla Murphy, and friend of mine, and yours. Bless both of you ladies. I love the book. I learned a lot about my family history. Great job, cousin. Yes, she's your cousin. Thanks for
Thank
watching,
you.
Carla. We appreciate you.
Love you too, Carla.
Um, yeah, she said she learned about her family. See, I just think that I think it's very important for everybody to tell the story. You may not tell it in a book, even though I think you all could, but because even Carla learned some things about the family that she didn't know. So
All
we
right.
appreciate you, Madeline. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yes. Any parting thoughts as we leave? I
Um,
really appreciate you.
Look for my next book. It's called A Taste of Privilege. Oh, I'm sorry, not A Taste of Privilege. I'm sorry. It's called A Mustard Seed of Faith.
A mustard seed of faith is based on HBCU and your great grandma.
Yes,
Okay.
correct.
Okay. Beautiful.
And
We'll be watching for that.
it's going to be a #1 seller.
It's going to be a #1.
Yeah.
Oftentimes, the first book is just a seller. The second book is the #1. So, okay, from your mouth to God's ears, right?
Yes.
So, and that should be releasing within the next, or at least
Month.
definitely by the summer, right?
Yes, by summer. It
By
should be
summer.
released.
And is
Yes.
that also going to be a Schuler Books?
Yes.
Okay, you're going to come home for that?
Yes.
Oh, we haven't mentioned that Madeline has an announcement. Are you telling your announcement?
Well,
Maybe.
I am moving to North Carolina.
Yay! Wait a minute. Hold on. I got something for you. Wait a minute. Where am I going? Wait. I gotta find this. Oh, don't tell me. Where? Okay. No, I can't find it. It's my little yay stuff. Oh man, I can't find it. But anyway, so I'm excited for you.
I'm
Here it is.
excited as well.
Yay!
Yes, yay. Thank you.
Madeline is relocating to North Carolina, where she is going to concentrate on finishing the book. Well, the book is finished, but potentially starting even your third book, right?
Correct.
Congratulations.
Well, thank you so much.
Are so happy for you. Hold on. Oh, Carla is saying good luck and safe travels.
Thank you.
Thank you, Carla. And thank everyone for watching. This has been Passion Speak with Madelene Yahya, author of A Taste of Privilege, and A Grain of Mustard Seed. Say it again, the title of your book.
A Mustard Seed of Faith.
A Mustard Seed of Faith, okay. A Mustard Seed of Faith for the new book that should be released by summer. We're so proud of you. And thank you everyone for watching. Madeline, don't hang up. We appreciate you all. Bye-bye.